Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here doing a reaction and review for the Resident Evil 7 Not a Hero Lucas trailer. This was released a couple days back. It was during the Paris Games live event. You guys can check out the end screens that I'm going to have on this video for some of the other videos that I did for that. But I wanted to skip over this. I watched like the whole PlayStation live conference, but I was like, alright, because there's Resident Evil, as I mentioned in pretty much every Resident Evil video. With it being Resident Evil, I was like, well, it's like one of the three things I always do reactions for, so I wanted to do one for this. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. It focuses on Lucas. We're going to get to see some more combat in here, some more weapons. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I've been kind of waiting because I just haven't had the chance to sit down. So I've been holding off to like see this trailer while doing the reaction. So we're going to get right into it and kind of see what else they show off. I know it's coming out on December 12th is the Gold Edition, so we're going to be getting, I believe, Not a Hero as well as the End of Zoe DLC, I believe, all at the same time. So I'm excited for that to come up. And we're just going to check out this trailer and see what the heck we get. So we got the PSVR still, which makes sense.
He's next on my list.
We didn't get much from the first unit before we lost contact.
Yeah. So it's... Whoa. Okay, that's some new gross looking little bug creatures. That definitely made me think about Dead Space. Okay, we got full on saw traps.
Please tell me what I'm looking at.
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's something new. Exercise extreme caution.
That's some... That's some new big monsters too.
You're going to need to proceed with caution. Extreme caution.
Oh, that's different. Like it hadn't been since we got here.
That definitely makes me think of Dead Space. That's actually really funny how much that looked like Dead Space to me. Okay. Let's see if there's anything. I'm sure this is just going to be the actual end of the thing. Just, yeah, like all the DLC and stuff. I'm so excited for the End of Zoe DLC. There's a bit of extra information. That is the guy is the playable character. So I'm looking forward to all of that. I cannot wait to see just everything with that. Okay, yeah, we don't need all that. Good trailer, definitely short, but of course, it's like the third trailer just showing off the, same DLC. So of course, bits and pieces here and there. With how much we've seen from the trailer, I do feel like we're going to get a decent sized DLC. I haven't seen any information yet. It's probably out there, I just haven't looked it up. But it seems like it's going to be a decent sized DLC, so that definitely has me excited. I mentioned my last reaction. I hope it's like at least 2 hours. That's like my hope, is that it's going to be like a 2-hour DLC. With it being free, it does make me wonder, like, alright, well, what's the time span that they initially had for that? It is a part of the main story, but they also had it set to be a free DLC story from the very beginning. But at the same time, they decided to hold it off until December because they didn't feel it was good enough. So, clearly they're putting a lot into it, even if it's shorter. So, there are a lot of different elements there where it's like, alright, even if it's short, does that mean it's going to be really great? Or did they hold it off because it was like, maybe we have more story that we want to tell in this DLC. So either way, I'm excited for it, but that looked really good. We got to see a little bit more of the members being trapped. I don't know if that's the same guy from like the very first official Not a Hero trailer, because they did show someone who was like behind a cage. So I don't know if that's the exact same person. I don't think it was, but it could have been. So we get to see, Chris kind of going in and he's almost, rescuing, or at least finding these people, probably not being able to rescue them. Maybe some we can, some we probably don't. They probably all die anyway because it's Resident Evil and, you're kind of doing a solo thing. So I think that's really cool. We see him go through and they have like a lot of the clips where it's like shooting through really fast, and we get to see like how it transitions from like the cave to like the new sort of medical area that Lucas had hidden away. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I think it looked really cool. We got to see some new monster types, the little bug things. Like I mentioned, that definitely there were two things that really made me think of Dead Space in this, which is really sad because for those of you who don't know, Visceral, who made Dead Space, recently got shut down by EA, so I hate them. But yeah, the little things definitely made me think of Dead Space, and when they die, they kind of explode, and it's kind of like yellowish sort of good, and I was like, yeah, that definitely makes me think of Dead Space. And then the big creature at the end makes me think of a very specific enemy type from Dead Space as well as like one of the sub bosses. So I was like, that totally makes me think of Dead Space. Plus, it even had like glowing eyes. It was like, yeah, that's making me think of Dead Space. But I thought it was cool. I was like, all right, so we have. I think they showed. I want to say it was like 3 different types because we got to see the tiny ones. We got to see. I'm assuming the one that was at the end of the trailer. I'm going to assume that was a boss, like where it comes out of like the sack and everything, which made me think of the original Resident Evil with the plant boss. So we had those 2, and then we had one that kind of had like it was like longer arms. It seemed like it was skinnier. It had a skinnier body and like longer arms. So I don't know if it can stretch or if it's just naturally with longer arms. Clearly, it has a longer distance. But I was like, okay, that's cool. It's a bit skinnier. It has longer arms. It looked like there was a new giant type as well because they showed. I feel like both versions. We have like the bigger one, and then this is almost like a medium one. Like we have like the really big ones, and now this is like, we have the normal ones, we have the baby ones, the skinny ones, then the normal molded, and then we would always have the giant ones, and now we have one in between the normal molded and the really big ones is like a slightly bigger molded. So it's like you can tell like it's a slight variation on it. They're definitely smaller. But I was like, okay, all in all, I would say this is definitely a cool trailer. Very simple, but and definitely entertaining to look at. We also get to see Chris actually end up using the knife. Not really that big of a deal in any way, shape, or form. But we see him use a knife. We see him use a couple other weapons. Most of them look like they were all like machine gun based, so assault rifle. I'm sure one of those was the submachine gun. I don't think it was all the same gun. And of course, we got to see him use the handgun too. So I am excited to see what weapons they actually kind of give us in there. I would love it if they had, if like the handgun was the Samurai Edge or something like that, where it's like, a callback to like the old school Resident Evil. But I think what we get to see here is actually really cool. I'm definitely looking forward to all the crazy puzzle stuff and what we're going to get from that. I would love to see if they did something like the main campaign. I don't know how they would kind of incorporate this, even though they use VHS, which nobody would use in modern day anyway, so it didn't make sense. But if they happen to have it where Chris, as he's rescuing his partners and stuff, or the first team that went in, if he went in, which now that I think about it, that's totally old school Resident Evil. Like the Bravo team goes in first, and then the Stars Alpha team with the main characters comes in. So Chris is kind of doing the same thing where it's like, I'm better, so they go first, and they got all caught. So it's like, well, all right, well now since I'm so cool, I go in and rescue everybody else. But it would be really cool if they kind of, I guess a good way that they can do it is much like the VHS tapes. If they do it where all the characters have cameras on, so it's like, okay, well, I'm rescuing this guy. And then we get to see, maybe there are other characters that died that aren't alive at all anymore. And it's like, oh, this is how this character got caught, hours ago before Chris came along. And we find like their helmet somewhere. And so we like take a chip out or whatever, and we're able to watch the tape from the SD card. That would actually be really cool. So I would love to see if they actually did that. Once again, with it being the free DLC, there are a lot of elements where I'm like, that would be great. But it's free DLC, but they also decided to take all this extra time to make sure it was great. So maybe that is actually in there where we, kind of go through again and we get to see some of the traps that are coming up, early on. I would assume it would be specifically for traps compared to, the main game where it was like one of those was for traps, and then the other portions it was just like, this is where certain things are in the area. So I was like, okay, you can kind of know where certain items are and like where you kind of map things out before you as Ethan get there. You get to do it as Mia or one of the other characters if you're going through the Lucas sort of games. So I would love to see it if they implemented that again with more of the traps. I think that would actually be really cool, and it totally works because, like I said, if just assume everyone has like a camera mounted to the side of their helmet, you could totally make it work like that. And it's like, all right, that's actually really sweet. It's a very simple way to do it. I think it'll be pretty awesome. But even if that's not in there, I'm definitely looking forward to this. This is a nice trailer. Showed off some stuff that we've seen, a couple of extra things we haven't, mostly the weapons. Definitely I would say the enemy types was that was like the main component for this trailer as far as like new content. It was like, oh, there's tinier enemies, and then there's a new type of molded, and there's like the new medium sort of version, and then we get to see a glimpse of one of the boss battles for the molded. So I would say showing off the enemies was the greatest asset to this trailer, which is definitely cool because I'm excited to see how they implement those different enemies and where they first pop up and how they work together. Eventually you get to an area where you're fighting different types of molded at once. You got these tiny little gross things, and then a giant one coming in, and we still got like the crazy jumping ones. So I think that was definitely the greatest asset to this trailer itself, was just showing off like, check it out. it's not just the same type of molded, which was a huge deal for the game itself. Where it's like, okay, you have the bosses, which are great, but then you have the regular molded, the slightly enhanced regular molded with the bladed arm, and then the jumping molded, and then you have like the really big ones. And that was pretty much it. It was like you have those 4 types. So now we have at least, as far as, you know, just plain enemies, because like I said, I assume the one at the end of the trailer was a boss. We still have like 2 or 3 new styles, with the really tiny ones, the one with the extended arms, and the slightly smaller big ones. They look different to me. Maybe it was just the design that was different, and it's still the same enemy type, but the design is definitely different on the big one. So they look like they're definitely smaller to me. I'm quite certain that they are, because typically the big ones were like huge, so they definitely look smaller. So it's technically a new enemy type, and it kind of, you know, blends things in there. So love what I'm seeing with this. Definitely looks good. Of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about this new trailer. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it. We are a little bit over a month away. I'm super freaking excited for this. I would assume that this is going to be the last trailer. With it coming out in just like tiny bit over a month, this has to be the last trailer. I don't think we'll be getting anything else. We might get another trailer for the End of Zoe DLC. I wouldn't be surprised if they did another one of those, because the Not a Hero stuff has been getting like all the trailers. Like they had the cool reveal in the last one with the End of Zoe thing, where it was, you know, showing what was going to happen with whoever the guy is. I forgot his name, but his name is out there if you want to look it up. But yeah, it was like, okay, well, technically that was like really our only true clue as to what was going on with her, and then like the tiny snippet we got before that. So the Not a Hero stuff has been like all over the trailers. So if we did get one more official End of Zoe DLC trailer, I wouldn't hate that, and I also wouldn't be surprised, because they really haven't shown it off at all. But it could be because, you know, it's like, hey, let's show off the Not a Hero stuff and save everything for the End of Zoe DLC is just absolute surprise content. So, you know, if they put it out, I'll definitely be doing another reaction. But either way, we'd love to know what you guys thought about this trailer. Like I said, your favorite parts about it, least favorite parts about it. Do you guys want to see another trailer? And if you do you want to see another one for this, or do you want to see another one for the End of Zoe DLC trailer? Or do you want to see another trailer for that? I would definitely say the End of Zoe thing is far more relevant at this point, because we've had so many trailers. There's been, you know, snippets of gameplay footage showing off the Not a Hero DLC. So I want some more on the End of Zoe stuff. If we get no trailers, like I said, I'm totally fine with that being 100% surprise. Even though it's still, you know, a little over a month away, I think I can manage. So at this point, I'm just excited for it. Like I said, I want to know what you guys thought about the trailer, and if you guys want another one, whether it's for this DLC or the Not a Zoe DLC or End of Zoe DLC, we'd love to know that. So please put your comments down in the comment section below, and of course, thanks for watching.